what's in front of them, holding on tonight. The world is wide and wondrous, but it's lost to their decree. They choose the simple answers and the truth they'll never see.
The oceans rise and tremble, the fields begin to fade. The voices of the scientists grow softer every day. But they call it fear-mongering, a trick or a lie. They'll watch the rivers dry up and still wonder why.
The old man at the pulpit whispers God's grand plan. No room for evolution in the making of man. They preach with fire and fury, a message carved in stone, leaving cracks in the foundation that'll break the unknown. Oh, how they pray and close their eyes so tight, denying what's in front of them, holding on tonight. The world is wide and wondrous, but it's lost to their decree. They choose the simple answers and the truth they'll never see.
Spinning truth round the axis, that's a fact you will ride. Flerf's fumbling hard, trying to run and hide. We got that gravity pulling, you just drifting through. Science slaps empirical, stick to the glue. Round pound, sharper minds, we probe for the real. History stacked tall, experiments that steal. Curious minds, globe-trot evidence rolls deep. While Flerf's count shadows, we night sky sweep. Eratosthenes flex with them shadow lines. Measured Earth's curve, no conspiracy signs. Dropping mics like Newton when his apple fell. Maths to beat, y'all theory stale like a cell. Foucault's pendulum swinging to expose. Rotation so true, no flerf can oppose. Telescopes leaning, Copernican frames. Centuries stacking, Flerf's out of their games. Round pound, sharper minds, we probe for the real. History stacked tall, experiments that steal. Curious minds, globe-trot evidence rolls deep. While Flerf's count shadows, we night sky sweep. Launching satellites, proof in the pics. Flerf screaming tricks, we dropping data bricks. Physics and logic on a level supreme. It's a curved reality, splitting Flerf dreams. Launching satellites, proof in the pics. Flerf screaming tricks, we dropping data bricks. Physics and logic on a level supreme. It's a curved reality, splitting Flerf dreams.
Hey people, how's it going? Welcome into QCK Debunk. Sorry, I was just posted something up in the chat there, and I didn't. It ended before I realized it. So, right. So hopefully everything's going through right here and fine. Have not been on because I've been quite busy doing some home renovations, and oh yeah, that's coming through really loud. All right, let's see here. Let's see if I can bring that down just a little bit. Okay, let's see how it's better here. Still peaking a bit. All right, I'm just going to adjust just the microphone a little bit here. All right, let's see if that's any better. It's gonna come down a bit more. That's a bit better. There we are. All right. Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah. Test. All right. So not peaking too bad. All right. Okay. Cool. Right. Hey, everybody. How's it going here? Yeah. So, didn't have anything scheduled. Didn't put a schedule up. I was super busy today, and my wife had to use a computer, and then I've just been really rammed busy. I normally come on Wednesdays anyways, when I, unless obviously, unless family things come up. Or last week I was busy re-renovating one of the kids' rooms, and just and the kids are sleeping in the living room, so I just didn't have time, and you know, didn't want to disturb them. Sunday is super busy as well. A lot of things going on. Hey Clarence, how's it going? Nice to see you in there. I don't think I've seen you before, bud. So yeah, so just been kind of busy here, so I decided to jump on tonight. But I didn't get anything scheduled, so we'll see how it goes. See, I got an idea to do here, kind of something I threw together. We'll go with that. So I think the big thing what we're gonna do here is we're gonna check out Justin Johnson. Haven't checked out Justin Johnson for a while. So let's see what he was up to. And it looks like he has been super busy today over the last 24 hours, like just posting videos. Like he's just like, and at one point he has like 17 hours, he posts like 3 videos, 18 hours, those videos and stuff like that. So I'll kind of show you what I mean here. See, so Justin Johnson has been derping out a little bit. Oh, nice to see you in there. Always, you know, always happy to have somebody pop in and say hello. I haven't seen you for a while then, I guess. So, yeah, let's see here if this will load up here for me. All right, so I just kind of thought this was funny. So you put something up 5 minutes ago. Yeah, see, like 5 minutes ago, an hour ago, 15 hours ago, which we're gonna check out the 15 hours ago one because these ones here I haven't really checked out yet. I didn't have them planned. It's like 19 hours ago, 19 hours ago, 20 hours ago. Like he's been like going mad on his channel here, 20, 21, 20, 23. So I mean, he's just been like 23 hours. So like he's posting like some of these are like look at a 6-hour video talking about um Dr. Shriva and Dave, Flat Earth Dave, when they had the little thing. Looks like all the stuff that Justin Johnson's putting up, though, funny enough, is not his stuff. He's reposting other people's things on his channel. I suppose he's just trying to drive engagement by instead of doing his own videos, I suppose, he's literally just reposting everybody else's content. I mean, okay, whatever, you know. If that's what you want to have your channel is just to like just push everybody else's stuff, then dude, all right, you know. You do you. Like, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I've you know, obviously I do a lot of flat Earth debunking, so I check out a lot of flat Earth stuff. So I'm not gonna throw hate. Whatever, you know, just be a resource for me just to sit here and just go to Justin Johnson. Maybe he'll get some views, and I'll get to debunk a whole bunch of different flat Earth stuff. So yeah, winner, winner, chicken dinner. All right. So so quick, couple quick things here. Before you get started on that, we are going to don't forget if you're coming in, click that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to my channel. And also just draw quick attention here. Not gonna do this very much, but just down below here is a link to GoFundMe. I'm trying to raise a little bit of money to get a bigger, better telescope to make flat earthers cry, and do some observations of like celestial bodies, and I got a couple other telescopes. I'll probably use them to go do stuff like long distance photography, like going over like over the ocean and see boats disappearing bottom up. All my telescopes are far more powerful than the flerf P1000 that they like to push and think that it's like the super best thing in the world. Pretty much any telescope freaking kicks the shit out of the freaking P1000, and you get better resolution. So, yeah, well, I'll do that too. But I want to. It's just something I'm doing. Like I said, no pressure. I'm not gonna jump. I'm not gonna beg. I'm not gonna do stuff like that. I just thought I'd just draw attention in case anybody wants to know what the GoFundMe is. So that's what it is. So the bottom there. So but yeah, if you can at least do me a favor here, cost you absolutely nothing. Subscribe to my channel, click the like button, and share it out live, and see if we can kind of push it and grow this channel a little bit. I do try to focus more on. I do have a laugh and giggle at things, you know, stupid things that flat earthers say. But my big thing is I debunk and fault and show evidence against them. So a little, you know, kind of a mixture of a couple different things that the flat earth community does. So we're gonna check this out here.
Mitchell from Australia, and this is yet another simple observation that anyone can do at home. You have a coin and a flat table, and I'm going to demonstrate how we can...
And if you notice there, as he went down, as I always find this funny because every flat earther does this, it's like on the flat earth script, is you always put the lens just below the surface, right? Like right about there, that lens is pretty level with the surface. Like you could set that camera down on there and that lens would sit on the surface of the table, which is where you actually would be observing this from. We don't normally sit like in a hole where our eyes are halfway, like, you know, we're not sitting like this looking at stuff with the ground and our eyes halfway buried, you know, our faces buried in our eyes, like perfectly level with the ground, looking like that. So we don't do stuff like this. And I do find this funny, but it's disingenuous for the flat earthers. We don't do...
You have a coin and a flat table.
That. See how now he's actually gone down and actually a bit further, just slightly below it. And they do this so that way they can, you know, they can push their nonsense, which I do find is funny. Are you talking about Justin Johnson? Yeah, he's still around. He tends to show up in Vlad on Ironworks 92000. Shows up in his live streams. He's been showing up on Vika's Dravis, whatever, Vika's channel a few times here when they're talking about the Dr. Shiva, when they did that thing that had like, just had 3 flat earthers and 3 globers, stuff like that. It didn't work out, obviously, with the whole like get together and come up with an experiment, and the flat earthers failed to even come up with one experiment that actually would test the flat earth. Not surprised there. No, Justin Johnson, as far as I know, he's still around. He hasn't done live stream for a while. I did check it out 3 weeks ago since he's still live stream. His live streams go on for freaking hours and hours. So, I mean, obviously somebody on his YouTube channel, somebody's got access, and they're posting a lot of stuff. So, I would assume it's him, unless something else comes out. But back to this, yeah. So check out here. I don't know why my live chat over there isn't working right now. It might start working. I have an app that's supposed to put it up on there, and it'll suddenly start showing up as stupid. Oh, Mitchell from Australia. He used to post regularly. But haven't heard anything from him recently. I honestly, Clarence, I wouldn't know. Mitchell from Australia, he's somebody I've never actually encountered myself, so I couldn't tell you if he's still posting anything recent. So I will take your word for it. If you haven't seen anything, heard anything from him recently, who knows? I mean, how what do you mean recently? I mean, a lot of flat earthers abandoned the flat earth cult after the TFE. Pardon me, sorry. After the final experiment, a lot of flat earthers jumped ship and realized just how stupid and ridiculous flat earth was, especially the way that the flat earth community was acting and treating people. So, for apparently being truthers, they sure weren't interested in the truth. But we're going to check out Mitchell from Australia. We're going to check out his thing as well. I mean, I find it amazing that there's flat earthers even living in Australia, because Australia itself, just the shape of the country or the continent, debunks flat earth, because they always use the Gleason map, and Australia is like super skinny and really wide and bigger than even like the continent of the United States, or even probably the size, if not bigger than Russia, which everybody knows it's not. The US is actually slightly wider, bigger, and obviously Russia is even bigger than that. So it's crazy. I think even Australia is bigger than Canada, which Canada is the second biggest country in the world. So I do find that really. And then right now, the direction of sunrise and sunset debunks flat earth. It rises south of east, sets south of west, and then like coming up here to the summer solstice, just the time of daylight that they get completely falsifies flat earth. Like, there's so many things in Australia that absolutely cooks the flat earth. But yeah, how is there flat earthers from Australia? I mean, it does make you wonder. They seem to think that they seem to think the idea TFE is just going to go away. Yeah, exactly. In fact, I got a video I put up, and I put this up. This would be the third year on the row. Me posting, and I post up a a time lapse from the previous 3 days, as well as a current live stream from the Australian Antarctic program. And they have like they got Casey Station. They have let's make another. There's a few different stations. There's a few that are in that place where you can see 24-hour sun. Like they have a live stream. They have a camera that is on there. You do the previous 3 or 4 days, and it runs through. I think it's every 10 minutes it puts up or something like that. And you can watch the shadows do this, like they'll flag poles or poles. And you can watch the shadows do a full 360. You watch the sun; it never sets. It's always bright, always daylight. You can watch the sun go around it, and there's one that has like a dome that sits under. It's supposed to observe cloud patterns. And it shows south, it shows north in it. And then it's like a fisheye, and you can watch the sun just do this above it. Like this goes completely around, and it actually shows. This shows a 360. It's actually 180, but because it's pointing straight up, it shows a 360 around. And you watch the sun go around. Like this completely destroys the flat Earth. And I always post up a video about this time of year in which they I just show a 24-hour sun, and then not a single flat earther has been able to debunk any of them, because I'm like, dude, they're live stream. The time lapses the previous 3 days from a live video feed that anybody can go online and watch right now. This completely destroys them. It's funny. So, in fact, I did that last year before TFE. I put up a video saying I predicted this is what they're going to see in the final experiment next month. I put it up in November, and funny enough, they went down there and they seen the 24-hour sun. And I went, hey, look at that! I predicted it, just like the year before. All right, so back to this. So, like I said, so they always put this where they always put the camera slightly below the surface. So when you pull this away, obviously it gets obstructed as it goes away because the camera is just slightly below the surface, which, like I said, is not how we actually, in reality, how we observe things on the Earth. We're standing on the surface. They should actually take the camera, put it on the table, then pull it away. That would be more accurate, but that falsifies their narrative. So we'll check out this video and we'll go from there.
And I'm going to demonstrate how we can make an object disappear bottom up without the need of curvature, or without the need of a physical obstruction for that matter. Now you globers are going to sit at home and say that table is just higher than the observer height or the camera height.
No, what we're going to say is that you have the lens, optical lens, just slightly below the surface, and that's not how we look out. That's not how we observe things when we're standing on the Earth.
Now let's get that sorted quick smart. When we zoom in, we increase the focal length and increase the angular resolution. And we can resolve that coin in its entirety.
It still seems to be obstructed slightly by the bottom, and that's because he's obviously zooming in. And what he's actually doing, he actually shows this, funny enough, debunks himself in his own video. It's quite funny. But as you are actually zooming in, you're taking that wide field of view and you're focusing it in into closer and closer into the center of that lens as you bring it in and pushing it out. So then what you're doing is you're taking, instead of like the sensor having that much, you're actually coming in and you're focusing all that in. So then you're narrowing it down. So now you're looking just, that field of vision is just like that, and it's focused down in into the center there. So that's why you're suddenly seeing that, is that it's just bringing the focal length more centered, and because he's got the sensor halfway down, that's why you're seeing this all fuzzy here, and it's because the sensor is actually the sensor halfway below, halfway above. So the top part of the sensor is seeing, it's now can see that because now you're focusing it in there, but you still have all this. Hey, Real Cygnus, how's it going? Nice to see you in there, buddy. Haven't seen you for a while. I've seen you around, but like, in chats and stuff like that. But it's nice to see you come onto the channel. I haven't seen you on for a while, bud. But yeah, so I've seen this before. Dave McKeegan does a great breakdown of this. He shows exactly how it's done and stuff like that. Being a professional photographer, he explains it much better than I do. But yeah.
As you can see, the bottom of the coin shining. And when you zoom back out, the coin is unresolvable again. Nice flat table, no physical obstruction.
Once again,
This is
just
all
below
optical.
that.
There's absolutely no obstruction here. This is due to angular resolution.
Like I was saying before, if you go
No physical
right about
obstruction.
there, would be more accurate to how we actually would be looking at stuff. Real sickness is like JJ only learns from other dropout nutters. Yeah, and I don't know if you've seen earlier Real sickness, but JJ's been on a proper rampage here, derping out, just posting everybody else's derp on his channel. Like over the last just over 24 hours, he's posting at least 2, maybe sometimes 3 videos an hour, and it's just like, you know, full like live streams and stuff. Like everybody else's derp. It's funny, but I don't know if he's just trying to post loads of videos to try to push it on so you can grow his channel, because his channel has been like about 300 or something for like as ever and ever and ever, as long as I've seen. I don't think I've seen him really grow very much. So and even on this was posted 15 hours ago, and he's got 25 views, and probably 2 of those are mine. So because I was watching this a little earlier, so yeah.
This is
Cracking
all
on.
optical. There's absolutely no obstruction here. This is due to angular resolution. The angle from the observer to the coin was far too small to resolve the coin. Now when I lay it down, we can still see the coin flat on the table.
Oh, yeah, so he had to raise up a little bit there. You see that? He went down, he realized, oh, okay, I have to raise it up a little bit because it's actually not proving my point. So let me just raise this up higher up because I went too far below the table. Watch this.
Now when I lay it
Funny.
down, we can still see the coin
You can see
flat
it.
on the
Okay,
table.
I was raising it up. Oh, there we are. Look at that. Eh? So you have to raise it up. Now it's more on level with the surface of the table. Holy crap. He's zoomed in. That's funny.
No problem. And you can still see some table underneath the coin. But when you zoom out, the angular resolution is way too
Hey, Spacey Vader, how's it going? Nice to see you in there, mate. Welcome in. Welcome.
small to resolve that coin. Nothing to do with physical obstruction. And the table definitely isn't curving.
So, gotta raise it up a little bit there again. There we are. Okay, yeah, that kind of,
100%
okay, yeah.
of the light of that coin is still reaching the observer. The only thing...
Yeah, as long as he raises the camera up a bit so you can just so you can see it. So he's raising, he's going up and down like that. Like, yeah, that's about where I want it, right?
That is creating this optical illusion of something disappearing bottom up is the angle to which you are viewing the object.
The flerf derp.
As you can see, the entire coin is resolved. And when you zoom out, decreasing the focal length, it's unresolved.
And it's below. Like you can't even see the chair right here. You can't even see it all because it's like that. Okay, so I think he showed. So I actually did a video on this, and I thought I'd just show this. I tested it, but I tested it. I did a much more honest test to show, because I just said we don't sit in a hole where our eyes are literally only half our eyes are sitting above the ground. We're not sitting in a hole. We're standing on the surface. Like I say, you should have this camera on the surface and then show that, because we're standing on the surface. You can have the camera sitting right there. You can have this camera bumped up to it. We should have that camera, that lens should be on or just on the surface, the whole lens, because that's where we are. We are standing on the surface. We have a bit of altitude depending on how tall you are or where you live and where you're looking. And so this is flat earthers being disingenuous. So I'm going to show my video, and this is going to show what I've done and show you what I mean. Okay, it's now time for my examples. Now, I tried to make it closer to reality, so I actually had the camera just above Hey, MV, recognize gold. Nice to see you. Hey, Leotis, Crayon. Nice to see you again, bud. And for my new trick, Black Swan. All right. That's a white swan. Hold on. Nice to see you, bud. Like the top of the table as close as I could to try to simulate if you're standing on the ground and you're looking out. It probably actually even simulate being less than a 6 foot person looking over the horizon, but that's here nor there. At least you can look and you can see how the plane moves out and up and away from you, as you know, if you're standing on the ground, as opposed to the flat Earth videos where they put the camera below the level of the table, and then they try to shoot up, or they try to have it just below, so that you cannot see the counter actually moving away as you would if you were standing on the ground. So that's one way that they try to fake this, because if they did do that, you'll see why in my video. So you see here, right on the edge of the table here, but you can see how the countertop is actually moving away from the opticals, and here we are moving the sun back. I do apologize if there's a little bit of like gear rubbing. I had a different phone. Well, I was using a different smartphone at the time, and I had a case around it because I dropped it and cracked the screen a bit, and I was afraid, so I had it in a waterproof case. And so as soon as the audio wasn't always the best and stuff like that. So that's why I get that. Since then, I've obviously upgraded phones, and I'm a bit more careful now. Back, I'm doing the same kind of action that was done in the Flat Earth video, but as you can see, a completely different result. Mainly because I've actually set the camera where you would be if you were standing on the ground and looking out towards the sunset. This is how it would appear in his example if the Earth was flat. Is all you'd see is it just going smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. We'd actually never see it set. It's not a sex toy. It's just a cap. It's not a sex. It's not that. It's just a cap off of a bottle, okay? Thank you, Space Invader, for that. Innovations, right? It was something round. I was actually reviewing one where they were holding a coin with a pair of tongs, like a pair of tongs. You know what I mean? Pinchers. And so I was kind of simulating the certain scenes for the thing, just being a it's not okay. This stuff stay in the bedroom. I know. I know. I appreciate that. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet, and click the like on the as you come in. Click the like on the live stream and share it out to your friends and family, and especially flat earthers. Always fun to have a flattery in there derping out. As long as it's not too rude, not too mean. Because I'm done with all the rude jerks. So let's go on with this. You just watch it just go, way smaller. But obviously the sun doesn't even sit on the ground like this, so it doesn't work. So I've put it up higher. This, it's not the scale, but you get the idea. This is how the sun would go. It wouldn't actually set. It just goes smaller and tinier and tinier and tinier and tinier. But we don't see that in reality. Now, just quickly here, this actually, I have two different countertops in my kitchen. This is what you're looking at here is one that we added on. And so there's a slight gap. That countertop there is slightly higher than the other one, only by maybe, 5 mil or so. So it kind of is more accurate as the fact if I have my camera, I put the lens side down. So I had it sitting like that. So it was, where the countertop sat was probably right there. So like it was fairly as close as I could think get to be to conform to reality, like what you actually would see in reality. So just thought I'd just throw that in. If you ever watch the sunset, I've actually taken pictures in one of my videos where I went from sunrise to all the way to the day and all the way to where the sun sets over top of the houses behind me, and the sun never changes size. It always stays the same. As you can see here, that sun goes really, really tiny and then goes quite, and then goes bigger, right? And even comes over your head like that. So that's not what we see in reality. And in the video, this is how it would actually look if he actually did it in a genuine manner. it would just go tiny and tiny and tiny, but you never actually see the sun set like in reality. All right, so we'll do all that stuff, but I just said flat earthers when they see that. So I'm going to continue on with this, so you kind of get the idea where I was going with that, and I think that's much. This isn't conformed to. This is actually how things are observed in reality. But flat earthers have to do this because reality actually falsifies their preconceived narrative.
Now, if this was a ship out in the water, all you globers would assert that it is Earth curve creating this bottom-up disappearance.
It is the ships because we can still resolve the top parts, like the even the mast, the wheelhouse, even like some of the aerials and stuff like that, smaller bits. But the biggest part that's closest to us, being that the hull of the ship seems to disappear bottom up. Even even if we have altitude or up higher, it still disappears. We can go further out, but it'll still disappear bottom up.
But as I've just shown, angular resolution is a thing.
Yeah, only if you have the observer below the surface in which they were looking at, or like their eyes literally halfway sunk down in. So, but that's not how we look. That's normally we're not down in a hole somewhere, with the surface that we're looking over, right halfway splitting our the pupil of our eyes. I normally don't have that.
Now, what is angular resolution? Well, it all has to do with the way that we view light, whether it be from your eyeball, a camera, or a telescope. In optics, the best focused spot of light that a perfect lens with a circular aperture can make is called the airy disk.
Real Cygnus is like, but bro, Filthy Sanchez says you have to put the camera lower than table for it to be correct and to scale with real beach. Yeah. Sure. Isn't that the one that drinks his own pee? It's just hard to take somewhere like that seriously.
Now, as you can see in this left-hand side, there are 2 points of light and 2 Aries disks. They are both resolved. Now, when they get closer together, this meets the Rayleigh criterion, or the diffraction limit. And so the Rayleigh criterion specifies the minimum separation between 2 light sources that may be resolved into each distinct object. And when the light sources get even closer on the right-hand side, they become unresolvable.
Yeah, so that would be like something like, say, seeing a ship going further away, you would start to get to the point where you wouldn't be able to see the aerials, you wouldn't be able to see maybe the cranes if it's like a container ship that has the cranes on it, and then the very last thing you wouldn't be able to resolve is the hull and the largest part of the ship that's reflecting the most amount of light. But that's not what we see. We see the hull, the biggest part, reflecting the most amount of light, disappearing bottom up, and then the last thing we don't that we see disappear is the wheelhouse, or maybe even the masts if it's a sailing ship, or the aerials or whatever. The highest part seems to be above, and that disappears up. So his whole thing of the Rayleigh criterion and essentially trying to explain perspective, that doesn't work. In fact, that's not how perspective doesn't make things disappear bottom up. It doesn't make the biggest thing disappear first. That's not how it works. All right, see a bit there, Space Invader. Yeah, I understand something's got to reboot, clear off all that catch. Real Cygnus is like, hey, they're all piss drinkers. Suppose, yeah, I can't argue with that. You're right. And John Noonan is a Pete Shea. Are you here, brother? I don't know who Pete Shea is. Now, this is kind of a part where I was bringing up where they kind of falsify, he kind of debunks himself. Like I said, he had to put the camera the lens has to be halfway below the surface that claiming. Now remember, we don't. This is not how we observe things over a beach or over ocean and stuff. Unless you're in the ocean, like where like you're in the water and you got your eyes just above, where you're just the water's like going like that, and you look over that, then maybe. But if you're observing stuff on the beach, this is not how you would be. Let's say unless you're dug yourself into a hole and you decided that you're going to have the beach just at your eyes. But this is so he's not actually showing how we normally observe things on a normal day-to-day basis. So I know it's like we see too far without the confusing BS. Flat Earth guys and yay have to answer for your sins. I've known all along I'm safe. Sure, okay. I swear these guys actually believe we went to the moon. Yeah, we did go to the moon, and there's like mountains of evidence to support that. Nobody's actually even proved that we didn't go to the moon, so still waiting on the evidence. Jay's Derping too, is he? Derping alert. So we have a flatty. Cool. So yeah, we're gonna watch this flat earther falsifies himself. Always fun.
So relating this to my observation, when the coin is closer to the camera, it is fully resolved. As you start moving the coin away from the camera, it meets the Rayleigh criterion, or the diffraction limit. And this...
Sure, as long as you have the lens below the surface that you're trying to observe, yeah, sure. But that's not how we observe reality. Sorry, but that's not normal. We don't sit and like look at things while we're down in a hole somewhere.
It's a smaller angle, making the coin disappear bottom up. And when you move the coin further away, it becomes fully unresolved. Now, as I said, 100% of the light from that coin is still reaching the camera. It's just
put the camera on the surface and then push it away, because we don't observe deep down here. We observe is you be standing here on the surface, because this is supposed to represent the surface of the Earth, and then move it away, and you'll see you'll have the same observation I have, and it doesn't disappear bottom up. It simply just goes smaller and smaller and smaller, which, funny enough, the sun doesn't do. So yeah, good luck with that one.
Unresolved. But when you zoom back in, you increase the...
Yeah, Clarence, I'm sure John does have all the maths to back up his flat Earth, back up all of his claims, and as well as empirical evidence. I'm still waiting. I've been in this game for 4 or 5 years, and I've asked every single flat earther to show me empirical evidence of the flat Earth, and all they really tend to go for is denial of the globe. So, in fact, most flat earthers aren't really flat earthers; they're just globe deniers and reality deniers.
The focal length, and you increase the angle at what you are viewing that object. Now, when you zoom in enough, it will meet the Rayleigh criterion, where you can see the two distinct objects again.
Like I said, so what is he doing here? As he's focusing, zooming in, he's going from using the full lens. He's actually focusing in, and now he's drawing that in. And as you focus, you're going to bring that out. You're going to bring it in, so it's going to focus more and more to the center of the sensor. So this is the full sensor. That's why you can't see it. Now it's going to come in and it's going to come up. So now that's why you have the fuzziness here. But you still can see that more because you're actually focusing more in, and you're bringing the light in to focus closer. And instead of the light hitting all over here, what's hitting here, is now going to only hit here and here in the center of the lens.
The coin and the table. And when you get past that diffraction limit, you can fully resolve the object. Now this has all to do with the angle that you are viewing an object. Now that we know about angular
Yeah, it's I've already explained it. Yeah.
resolution
He's
and the
talking shit.
diffraction limit, let's add some distance. This pole is about 3 foot off the water, and I'm going to put my camera on top of it. This is a common observation by most people with a zoom camera of seeing a boat disappearing bottom up.
Now, this boat he's talking like obviously it's a lake and a small little personal craft.
But as you can see,
The flerf never use ships because ships falsify their narrative.
it's definitely not going to be due to Earth curvature.
Now I want to know is why can't we see what's on the other side of the lake? Why is there? It looks like there's. Why can't I not see the beach over here? Weird, eh?
As the horizon is still far in the distance. Now this is a good example of angular size.
Yes. Look at see how that it goes from that, and as it gets smaller uniformly. You don't see it disappearing bottom up. The whole thing gets down till it can't be resolved.
Now this is a good example of angular size. When you
Look at
zoom
that.
out,
Uniformly, it didn't
reduces.
disappear bottom up. It disappeared. The whole thing got smaller and smaller and smaller until it couldn't be resolved anymore. That wasn't over the curvature of the Earth. That doesn't prove anything.
the focal length, and the angular size gets so small that it reaches the diffraction limit. When you zoom back in,
Also, now I want you to just quickly look at something here because he's going to claim something. But watch what is the lake doing? What is the water
angular
doing?
size gets so small that it reaches the diffraction limit.
See how there is disturbance. So that lake is doing this, right? Now he's going right down
When
to
you zoom back in, increasing the focal length, the
right
angular
down.
size increases and you can resolve it again. But as you can also see, angular resolution of the image has also changed.
You can also see that it's below the point where the waves are doing this. You can see less, you can see more, you see less, you can see more. See, look at that. Watch this. As you go back, watch and look at the bottom of the ship on the boat, and you can see less, more, less, more, less, more.
So see, angular resolution.
John Noonan says, what's the next moon mission? And you sound too educational. What? And you sound so educational, lol, with your big words. Listen, tell NASA to go to the moon and do a real job, then talk. NASA been to the moon 6 times, buddy. Didn't you not know that? You do realize like Apollo 11 wasn't the last time they went to the moon. They went like 5 more times after that. Like, hello, buddy. Yeah, they went. I just say, oh, I do have evidence of lies upon lies of the heliocentric model. NASA comes to mind. Dia, cool. Just post a link to your evidence in there. I want empirical evidence. So trust me, bro, isn't good enough. I honestly. I wish you used a proper tripod. And Leah just said, Lindsay Bo. Nice to see you, Lindsay. Haven't seen you for a while in here. You can't even explain the sunset. Maybe science isn't for you. Yeah, exactly. Don't hold your breath. There's still a very few practical reasons for such manned missions. While they are real Cygnus, they're still they say they're still trying to do Artemis. So the next Artemis mission is supposed to be that they're not going to land, but they're going to have people go up there. Obviously, it's been delayed because budget cuts and stuff. NASA's facing more budget cuts due to Trump. So we'll see how it's going. But Elon Musk is still pushing forward, so we'll see. This guy wizard doesn't exist. Yeah. Yeah, I wish he obviously put it on a pole, looked out, and he set it down on the ground. So, but like I say, if you watch here, you can see the waves. So he's actually got the camera down below to where the waves in the undulations of the water are actually blocking it because he's got it down to that point. So he's actually not proving. All he's doing is just showing his incredulities and dishonesty. Clarence is like, go on then, John. Let's hear the mantras your Papa Flerf taught you to parrot. Just explain any single sunset as per very basic geometry, your sickness is. Never even mind seasons simultaneously. Yeah, John, I think the first thing Flat Earth needs to do is you need to have a model that works that can predict the sunrise, the path of the sun, and the sunset in the proper directions. So how about we start with how about we go with I'll go with Sydney, Australia. Use your Flat Earth, show that. Or how about we go Hobart? Let's go Hobart, New Zealand. Tasmania. No, there's not. Hobart is in Tasmania. Show me the Flat Earth model, Hobart, Tasmania, on the 21st of December. I'll give you a bit of time. Okay? You come back in, you want to throw that, use your only Flat Earth geometry, can't use a globe at all, and show me the path of the sun, and make sure that you can account for the time of day, the time of daylight from sunrise to sunset, the path of the sun, and the direction of the sunrise and the sunset. Well, Hobart, Tasmania, the 21st of December. Good luck. Oh, well, again, eventually. I doubt via Elon. God. The vaporware salesman. I don't know, real sickness. I mean, Elon Musk, at least he's trying. Nothing else. I suppose he's helped with at least showing proof of concept, reusable rockets and stuff like that, which then now has brought the cost of doing space exploration and like missions to space, has brought the cost down instead of having, launching one big huge rocket that costs millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, and then end up, breaking up and all the pieces going to the ocean, and that's it. Now at least we have ones who's shown that you can have reusable rockets or reusable craft, like the Dragon's capsules and stuff. So at least he's brought the cost down where it could be more financially viable, and pushing to technology, if nothing else, showing that it can be done and showing how it's done. So maybe he won't get us to the moon or get us to Mars like he keeps saying he's going to, but at least the advances he's done is gonna will help inspire and help push. Maybe it's gotten people more excited for space again, because for a while there people just got and gave up. It's just like NASA's doing the thing, it's called boring, blah blah blah. But yeah, it's kind of got some interest, so it's kind of cool.
Of the image has also changed.
See this, how this waves are covering that, because he's got
The
this
horizon
right down.
is still far in the background.
Yes, horizon's far in the background, so that's not going over the horizon. So he's admitted it, that he actually hasn't proven that you can zoom stuff in over the horizon, because that boat isn't over the horizon. Thanks. Good job.
Now comparing these two images, on the left,
AJ Gale, how's it
the
going?
observer height is 1 inch, and on the right, the observer height is 3 foot. And you can see clearly.
What you can see clearly is that this is above, and then here he's actually took a screenshot when the waves from the because he had a 1 inch, so 1 inch, so he's got that far off from the water, and the other one's 3 feet. But there was waves there that were probably at least an inch, if not a bit higher. So all he's done is just showing that he's got down to the point where it's level with probably a lot of the undulations of the water. The water isn't a lot, but 1 inch is only that much. Only a couple centimeters. So it's this is one is just being disingenuous again. He hasn't proved anything other than the fact that he's put it too low.
That the boat has started.
Lindsay Bowe said Russia's screwed now since the his launch pad was destroyed. Apparently it was originally built by Ukrainian engineers. All right, I didn't hear about that. I heard something like Ukraine was has agreed to the U.S. peace deal. But also there's a lot of stuff going on with Zelensky and his I think it's chief of staff, like he's the chief of staff. the chief of staff has he's resigned because he was being investigated and found to be corruption. And I think Zelensky has been shown, and then there's some other things. So it looks like he may be tentatively, allegedly, looking for a peace. And Putin's still saying something like, he said something like he's more than prepared to go to war with Europe if Europe attacks. I think he said if Europe leaves him alone, they're not going to. But he's, if Europe, European Union or European alliance goes after Russia, then he says he's not going to lay down and let him. He'll fight back. So that's fingers crossed it doesn't get to that, and we can just peacefully resolve this. Because that's been going on for way too long. Ukrainian thing, crap, way too long. Real Cygnus hasn't even reached orbit. It's not all bad. Any usability is cool, and the chopstick catch is nifty. But he was way behind schedule and the entire time, as per usual, and the money is gone. Without even touching orbit. Yeah, I know. I think didn't his last starship finally not blow up? Which I'd say it's a little bit. Let's do baby ships. Let's look at steps. Okay, it didn't blow up. It made it not quite orbit. Didn't it? Wasn't the whole point? Is they went around and it ended up like splashing down in the Indian Ocean or something like that. When halfway around landed, which is what they're first trying to do. At least it got that one. Didn't burn up or explode or stuff like that. It actually did come and it landed and did this like vertical thing where it splashed down when it like landed this land thing and then it fell in like it did. So at least it did all that and got to the end. So that's some progress. Now I could say, was it a fluke? I haven't looked in to see if he's been able to get another starship to do the same thing again, or I should go further. So we'll see. But well, last I had heard is he at least got to do that one complete thing and get to the point to the end without having any kind of problems. So yeah, well, hopefully I don't know. I kind of have hope. I have hope. I'm just being optimist, but I have hope that maybe he makes some progress. I see he's doing more than NASA though. I mean, come on, what's NASA? Even to the point where like Dragon capsules are taking NASA astronauts back and forth to the ISS. I mean, at least he's made some more progress that way. So yeah, that flatty that John guy seemed to come in, say a couple little derpy things, and then run away. I haven't seen or heard anything. I'm still waiting on that evidence that they lied or anything like that. Apparently, he thinks NASA lied or something like that. So I'm still waiting on the evidence. We'll crack on with this one.
To disappear bottom up. There is no Earth curve, as you can see the horizon in the background.
What expected Earth curve do you think there'd be? Like, how far is a boat? Is a boat what, 1-2 miles off the coast? If that, it's only a small little single. Would it be inboard? Only a single little personal watercraft. Like I said, it's like, well, I say personally, it's a small little motorboat. I was on something like that on the lake in October. We went to Lake Windermere. Something about that size. Me and my family and my father-in-law and our dogs and stuff. Like there's 6 of us on there and 2 dogs, and that was getting pretty full. But it's not like it was a big boat. We weren't very far off the water, so that doesn't. How much curvature you expect to see? 1 degree per 69 miles. I certainly wasn't 69 miles off the over that lake. That was maybe a mile or 2. So this is no curvature, but it's not even past the horizon. Like, idiot. Clipper, Parker probe, and such. Real Cygnus, I do agree. Yeah, I mean, there's so much less. Doing that. Like Real Cygnus says, to make no mistake, pure science, remote/robotic missions like JWST, Clipper, Parker probe, and much bigger bang for the buck for humanity. So I'd support going back. Yeah. I agree. For it's definitely for the missions, for what you wanted to get, stuff like that. Yeah, definitely bigger bang for the buck for like the science stuff like that. I do believe there's something that's come up with the moon that they wanted to. There seems to be a race to maybe either put a permanent base on there, and then also I think there is something that they discovered that there may be some rare minerals up there. One being helium. Is it helium-3? Something like that. Something that actually could help for us to maybe further develop doing fusion, nuclear, yeah, nuclear fusion. So I think there is some, seems to be, was always the biggest thing is either like to get like, well, back in the 60s it was competing to show superiority with the Cold War and all that. So Russia versus US threw tons and tons of money in and were able to somehow get the job done, right? Russia threw loads of stuff in, they did stuff as well, right? Didn't make it to the moon because I think they had some issues and stuff going on there, and obviously some but I think the thing now would be financial incentive. So if there was something up there, that's when they realized that there was a massive would be the biggest incentive. So if there's something that the US realized, let's say China was after something like rare minerals on the moon that they could get and bring back and make them economy, then US would probably kick their arses in gear because they wouldn't want to have China getting access to these and having a monopoly on these rare minerals and stuff that the US would want. So I think that's what it comes down to that. And I think that's some of the missions they put there was to check and see if there's like one like liquid water under the surface, as well as if they could find some of these rare minerals that they're pretty sure are up there. Then I think that would definitely kick things into gear. All right, yeah, continuous speed advocate, yeah, helium-3 for fusion, yeah, I thought so, yeah. Has anybody ever seen? There was a series that was on. I think I watched it on Paramount, like the streaming service. What was it called? For Mankind or something like that. And it started out with like the space race back in the 60s and all this and stuff, except for Russia beat US to the moon, and the first one to land. And then because of that, the US didn't, they got obviously ticked off, and then they ended up establishing like a small little base on there, like this, like there's 3 people on there, and they realized that it was like helium-3. Funny enough, they actually had brought that up, and then through that, there being the space race never stopped. It is because they started bringing helium-3 back, they advanced different things, and it ended up being like they went to Mars and stuff. It was actually quite a really entertaining, quite a good series. But they start off with for I gather fairly close to what actually happened for the space race, and then is the kind of like a what if Russia made it first, then US and Russia never stopped advancing, and then it went further, and then it just kind of went, and so then it obviously went to more sci-fi, but it's really cool. So I think it was called For Mankind, and it was quite a good series. Yes, well, that is the thing, real sickness, and this is indeed China already has bold plans, and it will definitely kick US in gear because US, nothing else kicks US in gear is a healthy dose of competition and to be outshone, and US, US pride and nothing else, is a really good motivation. So, and you got Trump in power, and Trump wouldn't take kindly to being outdone by China, so. I think you never know. So this might be enough. Hey, David, how's it going? And as Canadian Space Advocate said, and plus the moon will be a stepping stone to other planets and asteroids. Yeah, exactly. If they could establish a permanent base there, and then have something, then I think that would be a stepping stone because you could have launch stuff from here to there, refuel, restock, and stuff like that. You already have stuff there at the base, and then go from there the rally point onto, say, Mars or to other asteroids, or because you could literally have that as kind of a remote base, of operations. So especially if you get a big enough like station or like colony on there. So that'd be so cool. Yeah. Yeah, as Canadian Space Advocate said, plus there are limited water on the moon. Getting there will be first race. Most of it's on the crater in the South Pole. Yeah, exactly. That's what I've heard. Is it's at the south, at the pole. Isn't one thing they're looking at is to see how much water there is, because if they can have ice there, then they can use that to obviously make water, and they can also use the ice and with the water. Then you can use it for. I think cannot use it for like generating power or generating stuff or using hydrogen power or stuff like that, like turn it to hydrogen. I think I heard something about that. I could be a little bit, don't quote me on all of it, but if I remember, I have to look further. It's been a while since I looked into it, but yeah, Clarence is like been watching too much Watcast or bring automatically away China. Let's continue on with this derp here. You're almost done this video.
But both boats are starting to disappear bottom up. Let's add some more distance. This is Bathurst Lighthouse from 20 kilometers away. The left image.
Oh, look at that. Fantastic image showing curvature of the Earth. So what exactly is blocking this here? You can see all this land, all this. That's a lot. That's right up there. So why can't we see all of this? Where did it all go? Look at that. Where did it all go? The 30 meters up
image is from a 30-meter viewing height, and the right image from a 2-meter viewing height.
As exactly as the globe would predict. 30 meters higher, we can see more because you're looking further over the curvature of the Earth. Down 2 meters, so 6 feet down, suddenly that you see less because we can't see over the curvature of the Earth. And there's a nice sharp horizon. Mwah. Perfect debunk of the flat Earth. I love it when flat earthers falsify their narrative.
The obstruction in the right image, the globe proponents will assert, is only from Earth curvature and not.
It is. It is. Then, by all means, zoom it back in. Show us that, he showed that coin stuff at the beginning of this. Zoom it back in. Let me see all that land. Go ahead. Let's see.
Else. But I've shown you in this video the angular resolution can cause obstruction from bottom up without the need of any Earth curvature.
No, you didn't. What he showed was that if you put a camera lens slightly below the surface level of a table and then you push something back, it disappears because it's going further back and you're not seeing over the surface level of the table. He hasn't shown that at all. He's just showing that if you put your lens down a bit below, then it makes it look that way. But put the camera on the table, then move your thing back and show me something disappear bottom up. I've already shown that doesn't work. I've done the test. I've done it in a much more honest way, and it falsifies the flat Earth narrative. Now here, you're standing on the surface 2 meters up. We can't see the bottom. Zoom it back in, but you can't. 30 meters up, you can see that. Why? Because you've gone up, so now you have more of an angle over what's obstructing you, because now you're higher up to see over that. Because curvature of the Earth, higher up, now you're seeing over the curvature of the Earth. This is a perfect flat Earth debunk and cell phone, and nice proof of the globe. Perfect.
Now, if we continue to zoom in on that right image, we will never be able to.
Exactly as Real Cygnus says. Is it that DJ Lemore? How's it going? Nice to see you in. I don't think I've seen you here before, so welcome in. And Real Cygnus says nope. Nor does unresolvable equal invisible. Fuck's sakes, exactly.
Resolve the bottom of it. And Globers will say, that right image, we will never. Now, if we continue to zoom in on that right image, we will never be able to resolve the bottom of it.
Yes, because it's blocked by the curvature of the Earth. Well done.
And Globers will say, well, that's clearly because It's a physical obstruction from a reified edge of a globe.
Now, reified is obviously there, visibly, observably proven. You've shown the flat Earth debunk and globe evidence. Thank you.
But in the next 2 videos that I'm going to release, I will demonstrate there are other factors at play here, and none of them have to do with Earth curve obstructing any images from bottom up.
And I kind of think that was the end of that, and I don't think I've seen anything else, and I have never seen a flat earther show me something like the lighthouse and then zooming back in and having and showing us the bottom, the whole, all that land come back in. That won't happen, never will. Now, he'll probably claim something like, I think I heard flat earthers claim, it's some like water, like moisture in the air that is causing this and that, and we can't see it, or it causes, it's just, they make up loads of shit, but it's all bullshit. So hey David, how's it going? Anything but simple obstruction. Yeah, this would not admit to it, will they? No. Now, I do know Tune and MC Tune and FTFE are going for Tune and Tune and Craig at midnight here in about 5 minutes. I don't know if everybody's gonna end up like banning me, which I understand why. But it's nice to have everybody in. So nice to see you all in. I know I haven't been on for a while, so. So that was that one there. As I said, Justin Johnson, I haven't seen him live for a long time. But yeah, he has definitely been on one here. So what, I don't know what he's up to here, but I was showing this earlier, just for people that haven't been in. I don't know what's up with Justin Johnson here. Kind of funny, but he seems to be on an absolute tear right now of posting things. Like I said, he's put this up an hour ago, doing a stereographic projection, astrological clock, planisphere, fucking, is that something from Shane Saint Plagiaire and all that? There's something to do with the moons and different colors and stuff like that. Because, it couldn't be something like the red moon, could be to the smoke and how the atmosphere bends light. I showed that, but as you can see here, he's been on a tear, 16 hours ago, 20 hours ago, 20 hours ago, 21 hours ago, posting like full different things like that. So I was going to check out this one here maybe for a little bit, and then we'll probably call it a night because Wednesday night. But yeah. Yeah, Clarence, exactly. Yeah, he debunked everything he showed at the beginning. He then went and debunked himself. I love it. I love a flat Earth cell phone. I mean, it's just, they are fun. They are fun to watch. I love when flat earthers just like debunk themselves. Was that any flat Earth evidence false, or any flat Earth evidence usually falsifies their claim. So, but yeah, so Justin Johnson has been on a tear the last 24, 48 hours here. One day ago, look at that. One day he's posted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Just one day ago, 15 different videos. None of them his. He's just, I don't know, recording and reposting everybody's like stuff. Like, so funny. Yeah. Yeah, he's just oh, okay, whatever. Like, it's just because Daddy Vlad told him to, probably. Probably, no offense. Oh yeah. Did you see that? Clarence said you seen an anti-Semitic video in there. I wasn't actually. I can't. Oh yeah, there it is. Oh yeah. Of course. They go hand in hand, Clarence. Anti-Semitism and flat Earth. they're like that. Like just it's crazy how intertwined it is, and really, um, it's kind of shocking in a way. But we'll check out this for a little bit, and then we'll probably call it a night.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Hello, and welcome to a brand new episode of Heliopsychosis Podcast. This is host Rika Radif, guys. Welcome to the show.
This is Vika Travis, who I've seen him in a few debates and stuff like that. Never shown any flerf evidence. He's pretty stupid, but he's funny. He pronounces things fun. And I know what cast has watched him a few times, but I'm gonna go a little bit faster on him, about like that, just kind of because these other guys speaks really slow. So.
And yes, what an awesome conversation we have got today. The part 2 of Dr. Shiva's experiment, a psyop. Looks like how TFE has helped us see the changing colors so that we can see the real colors of the people.
All right, Leotis, nice to see you in there, buddy. Thanks for dropping by and saying hello. If you haven't yet, hit the like button on the way out, and share if you know anybody. Share this, share out my live stream, share out my channel, and hopefully can keep growing and keep going with this. But yeah, thanks for showing up, buddy. Nice to see you. Always nice to have you come in.
Right. So the same thing is Dr. Shiva experiment. We are seeing the changing of colors of few people, right? So things are getting really interesting, right? So yep, get your popcorn, get your whatever makes you comfortable, and join us tonight on this conversation. And yes, you do have a link up there, pinned up there. Anybody who wants to join in our conversation tonight is absolutely welcome, apart from the trolls. And yeah, shout out to our brother Ironworks for the super.
So you get that. You're welcome to come in, as long as you as long as you keep with the echo chamber. You say, welcome to come in, as long as you don't falsify everything we say and push back, because they don't like that. Especially Vika. He can't handle it, so it's funny. The real sickness is like Vika's weekly post-TFE Cope Fest have been great examples of clinical delusion. Yes, yeah. That's all Vika has, those globe denial and delusion. So
chat super sticker, and yes, brother, you have the link too, and absolutely. And let's say hello to my brother and co-host Gene is back. Gene, how you have been doing, bro? We missed you. Here, go ahead.
Hey, brother. Thanks for the show, man. It's always a pleasure to be here with you. You know that. And all the great guests that we have, everybody in the chat. Hi, everybody. Yeah, it's definitely good to be back, bro. Yeah, I wasn't feeling good. First week my back was just really bad. Some you guys know I got back problems and it acts up sporadically. And last week I had some sort of cold or whatever. Still lingering. You might be able to hear it in my voice.
I just want to show you something here. Now, I'm not really nasty, but this is crap, not right there. This is come on. Come on. We'll go with that. So this is Gene edited, talking at normal speed.
Hopefully not. And I think we'll be able to get through tonight without any episodes. Yo, bro, I gotta say, man, I missed a freaking great episode last week. I was listening in the background, kind of half asleep.
I mean, does it not sound like those pain meds for his back? He's taken a few right before he came on the stream here, and he's like a little bit, whoa, like, whoa, man, wow, some good stuff there. He sounds just a little bit out of it. Maybe it's just me. Maybe not. Maybe it's just the accent or something like that. I don't know.
half awake and going back between what I was listening to.
Real sickness is like because what was the because when him and Sam get together, it's padded room territory. Is it really? I don't think I've seen Vika and Sam from Flyer Reconnaissance get together, but yeah, I could see that just being like just a next level insanity.
And then the live portion of it. So it was like, wow. But I did get to listen to the whole thing during the week, and it was a really, really, really great show, bro. You guys brought up some freaking great points, great, points of interest on what's going on with that guy, Dr. Shiva. I remember seeing Sherry in the comments, and my wife said the same thing to me. It went over my head, but then when I saw Sherry typed in Shiva is outside of CERN, I was like, oh God, look at this. Blew my.
I don't think Shiva's outside of CERN. Shiva was not in freaking Switzerland. Shiva teaches at MIT, and he's in the United States, as far as I know. I mean, unless somebody knows something of his location, I don't know, but I don't think Shiva works for CERN. He has his own companies and stuff in the States.
My mind, that was so cool. So thanks, Sherry Mack, for that, and my wife, thank you, Queen M, for pointing that out. It's so obvious, but when you hyper focus, you can't really see everything, and that one was so obvious and went right over my head. And I love when that happens. It helps me keep my eyes open more, because look what I missed. Look at Shiva right in front of us. Like, oh wow, that's still blowing my mind. So yeah, bro, I'm glad you guys didn't get to finish, because I'm psyched to be part of this conversation tonight, and I'm definitely happy to be back with everybody here tonight. So yeah, let's have a great time, guys.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Look like some people or look like they're upset. We are looking into this. We are in all our rights to look into what the hell we want, right? So that is the reason we are looking into it.
Nah, bro, what a really great call, dude. You know, both your films were really early, great call that nobody was like looking at, as far as I could tell. They were very revolutionary and fresh and crisp and brand new in so many ways.
Holy crap, Gene! Like, just you want to just get on your knees now and just like get Vika's pants down on his ankles? Like, holy crap, buddy! Just slow down a little bit. Buy him a drink first. Oh.
Right. And right now, I feel like this was a really super great call that you made, because I saw this video. Dave sent me this like the day after he did it or whatever. I was like, wow. And then when you guys were pointing out how freaking naive he was acting, and like Ari was saying, he kept cutting Dave off, wouldn't let Dave get a chance to finish his sentences and thoughts and get this point across. And then
if you're talking about Shiva talking to Flat Earth Dave, Shiva was nothing but quite nice, but he wasn't going to take Dave's shite. You realize Dave was just sitting there just yammering on, just running through his script, and Shiva freaking was seeing straight through him. Just seeing him as he was just on there simply just to kind of sell his app and just do what he does. That's all Flat Earth Dave just goes on there, gets on his podcast to simply just sell his app and just to grift on. That's all Dave is interested in. He doesn't even care about Flat Earthers or even Flat Earth really. He's just doing it because it's his business model, and he's just trying to make as much money as he can from as many people as he can.
He's telling him, like, Dave, I need this spelled out very clearly. Dave's like, I'm trying to spell it out for you. But and I think it was Vlad was mentioning how did Dave keep his cool, which is definitely noteworthy, because if you want to check out how and why, what he did was in that interview he did with Not a Professor Dave, where he was like, I think it was.
They always love doing that because they just cannot handle the fact that Professor Dave was a professor. He taught at a college. He was a teacher, and in the States, that is considered a professor. Plain and simple. He now does science communication because that's what he's gotten more into, and that's what he finds he's making money, and he's got business, and that's what he's that's what he's doing in his life right now. But Dave would not go on confrontation. I've seen Flat Earth Dave come on the TikTok. He's spending more and more time there with like Angels of Lies and all the a bunch of other derplings on there. But Dave comes in and fully on says, "Look, I'm coming in. I'll chat with you guys. But if anybody comes in and starts pushing back, anybody comes in, any Globers or anybody comes in and starts pushing, he says, I'm out." He fully admits when he first comes in and goes, "Look, I'll see you and chat with you guys, but if you let anybody else up that starts like questioning things or causing problems, just I'll leave. And he'll just run away. He does not want confrontation. Dave isn't interested in confrontation or getting into debates. Flat Earth Dave's only interested in just selling his app and selling it to training as many people as he can onto it.
It was like 3 against 1, and Dave was the only flat earther today. He might have had somebody, I forget. There was 4 of them though, and they were just ripping Dave apart, and he wasn't letting it bother him, which I thought was really cool because it's not easy to do all the time. When
no, Dave just sits there and takes it because he knows he can't push back. I mean, Dave got roasted by ChatGTP for crying out loud.
when you're getting attacked left and right, and they're laughing and they're goofing, and you can't get a word in, so yeah, definitely some noticeable things going on in there.
And as for the Dr. Shiva, we did the experiment, we had the summit he was calling it. Flat Earth Dave was more welcome to come in. Flat Earth Dave ran away. He wasn't even the first thing. He just went, nope, I'm not going. He says, no. Something about, I don't know. I think he brought the whole same excuse for not going to TFE is I don't deal with demons or some crap like that. It's just that's his instant cop out. It's just bullshit. He ran away because he knew he had nothing, and he knew if he went on to that Dr. Shiva into that bringing other flat earthers on, Dave already knew he's just gonna get embarrassed. He's just gonna embarrass himself, and he's gonna somebody else sit there and probably embarrass him, like what happened, like when Kevin came on, and if you noticed on that, Kevin came on, completely embarrassed himself, and the other fella, apparently the flat earther, came on, introduced himself, sat there quiet as a mouse the whole time, and at the end went, okay, oh yeah, thanks for having me on, bye. Didn't say a word. The smartest thing he ever did. He just sat there and let Kevin take all the attention, and just sat back and went, I don't want anything to do with this, because if I see anything, I'm just gonna make myself look like a fool. He was only there as he was like the Austin Whitsitt of that. He was just literally just a body. Oh, that kitty here. Hello, kitty. Cats come for some attention. Hey, kitty.
Oh yeah, he know how to, because he's claiming to be the scientist, the peer review guy, right? He know about science. He know how the people, how to interact with people, right?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up,
He
FE
was
Nation?
not acting that way at all, as far as I could tell. You know what? I didn't even really notice it as much. When the first time I definitely saw it, I'm like, this guy's cutting Dave off. He's acting like the scholar, and like he's talking through the piece of paper that plaque that's hanging on his wall through his diplomas right now. That's what he's kind of talking through. And but last during the week, you guys pointed out a lot more of that. How and then it crossed my mind. I'm like, if I could start looking at the flat Earth, and within 4 hours, I was convinced. When I really thought about water hit me so hard, guys, that I just was like, oh my god, the oceans can't do what they're trying to say, and I was like, wow.
The fucking ocean, what, like, let's say the curve, like with the force of gravity, because there's a force. Water is subject to the forces acting upon it. I mean, it's 4 hours. That just shows the gene edited there is just that stupid that he was easily sucked into a freaking delusional cult ideology. I mean, holy shit. I think I looked at one Flat Earth video on TikTok, and instantly that's what got me sucked into. Is some lady sitting there just spewing loads of the just random word salad, derp, bam, pretty much claiming that because her interpretation of what the Bible says, so it must be true, and this is how it is. And I was like, except for no, because we have all this scientific data that falsifies everything you said, and the Bible isn't a science book; it's a theology book that maybe can help guide somebody in like the way of maybe living life or having a belief system, but it's certainly not it has any facts or evidence in it. Maybe loosely based, and maybe some referring to some maybe certain events that might have happened, but it's only stories of this and that. It's just a book full of loads of stories around maybe loosely based around certain events.
Oh my god. And that makes me wonder how this guy, like I was saying, is he that indoctrinated, or is he just putting the blinders on and skipping around the obvious? I don't know, of course, but something's definitely happened there.
I might just a video I showed earlier in this when you had the lighthouse at the end there, where higher up, 30 feet up, you can see the land and stuff. And we went to 30 meters up, I think it was. He went to 2 meters, so 6 feet high. Then he would you couldn't see all the land below it, like all that mountain, all the hill and stuff with the lighthouse on top. All you can see is maybe most of the lighthouse, everything below it, the very bottom lighthouse, and the rest of it, you couldn't see any of it. Like, that's literally because that it's curving over. That's the horizon, and everything's curving over, and that's going over there. So that's legit what, we see the oceans do. It's exactly what they do.
And I'm really curious to see what goes on in the future with this guy.
Oh yeah, for sure, bro. Hey, what's up, FE Nation?
FE Nation. What's up, big bro?
Hey, I had that on mute for a second because I was listening to y'all. How y'all doing? Hey, Vicka. Hey, Gene.
What's up, brother?
What's up? How are you doing?
Hey, how's it going? I'm thinking about it. First time I met you, Gene, was at the Great Debate. Dean O'Dell.
Yeah.
He destroyed Greg Locke. You know the deal. And I mean, because we watch it happen in real time.
Yeah.
And we were there with Dave and Wizard and
Did you meet with
obviously there was a couple other people that showed up. And Keith was there, right?
Uh-huh. Kevin
I got
Povic.
pictures of, yeah, that's right, exactly. And Gene, like I said, that's the first time I met you, sir. And
yeah, man, it was great to meet you too, by the way, brother.
do you think that they had? I even did a little live with Dave on Iron Realm Media, with Zach and Walton and Good Times for All, Josh Corey, and
Sure.
do you think? Now, let me ask you a question, sir. Do you think? Now, I know with it before that, right? I went to his baby shower when Kyle was pregnant.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
And this
The wife who left Wissett because he was not a very nice person to her and didn't appreciate her, and eventually he got tired of dealing with his BS. That Kai? Oh yeah. Okay. Just wanted to confirm, just clarify that.
listen. People got some stuff wrong, but it's okay. Listen to me. I'm just telling you, and even with, do you think that we was fooled by Dave and Wizard and all them during that? Because if I got fooled, you got fooled too. But I didn't see that, sir, and hanging out and doing it. That's not the first time that I hung out with Dave. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I met him at a Flattoberfest.
Okay.
And it's just like Mark Sargent. They seem real people to me, and I don't know. I don't want to like bend anybody's water. Everybody's aside. Do you think that we was fooled that for that weekend? Because if you was fooled, I was fooled too, and I don't want to be fooled. And I seen Jen and Dave and Wizard and everybody. We got the police calling on us.
I know.
Do you think that we really that was a setup and a psyop? I mean, I'm just asking because it really bothers my mind on some of the comments and stuff like that I see. And I was there. I was like, so their little stage acting fooled me too. And I'm like, and I've been around for a second, sir, and I did not actually, in reality, see that I was getting played by two sides. And if it was, man, it was the best acting in the fucking world. And I'm going to be quiet, and I want your response, sir. Thank you very much.
It's not hard to fool flat earthers. I mean, they're pretty gullible and believe almost anything as long as they think it plays into their narrative of whatever their preconceived notions of what things are. Then that's it. As long as it plays to their delusional psyche, then they'll believe it without you question. Flat Earth Dave utilizes that all the time.
Yeah. It's crossed my mind, especially lately. In the past, few months. Are you saying like, is Dean Odell in on it, and him and Greg Locke set this up for some reason, like just to, just to keep the illusion going?
I'm talking about in full, yes, sir. Just, I mean, it would have to be like, you know what I'm saying, a staged event, but and rehearsal and everything, and to sit up there and lie. And be good at it. And you have to be supreme. I mean, because to get it past my eyes, because I can tell you, I've been on the street many times. You know what's up if you pay attention. That's all I'm saying. And continue
Okay,
on, please, sir. Thank you.
as an outsider, guys, I wasn't there for that debate, right?
Well, is FE Nation and gene edited cats something? Are they trying to claim that Dean Odell Greg Locke debate that was on stage a couple years ago was like all just a big act? Is that what he's trying to claim? It's just it's hard to keep up with what flat earthers hate, what flat earthers, which ones are on the outs and you think are not true and this and that. Like I know Witz, it's on the outskirts now. He's been kind of snubbed by the flat earth community. A lot of them don't like flat earth Dave because they think he's a liar and stuff like that, mainly because he embarrasses the flat earth. But there's a lot of flat earthers. There's flat earthers don't like Vika. There's flat earthers don't like Ironworks of Vlad. There's so many, right? Like at one point, some of these guys hung out with Mikey Smith. They don't anymore because Mikey Smith hates them. They hate him because Mikey wants them thinks they should do one thing and they think Mikey Smith should do something else. It's just crazy, right? Crazy.
Right, I wasn't there, but what I could see from here, there were some feelings you could say that this was all a setup, right?
Oops, sorry.
Because they both are looking for their whatever right crowd in a way, right? So it was a moment that it's looked very official, right? And as I said, TFE is connected there. There was Duffy was there. They even spoke about going to Antarctica, and Locke mentioning about giving 50,000 to Dean Odell, right? So maybe it was just all a preparation for what had to come through TFE.
I mean, was it Dean Odell, whatever, the pastor who believed the flat earth, wasn't he invited to actually go down by Will Duffy and he declined? And we know that Flat Earth Dave was one of the first ones to be invited, and he easily turned down Will Duffy and says something about demons on that one. He doesn't deal with demons. He ran away instantly. Which I thought that just showed how disingenuous Flat Earth Dave is. But I mean, Will Duffy says that he was there listening to that. He's already kind of interested in flat Earth, and trying to think of a way of doing an experiment or doing something big to try to show, okay, flat Earth versus globe. Let's test both models to see which one works. And that kind of gave him an idea when they said, and you looked into other flat Earthers said the same thing, that you can't go to Antarctica. The 24-hour sun doesn't exist. And he went, and then you looked into, probably did a little research, looked into it, and hold on, wait a minute. You can go down there. I can book a trip. I can book a trip during the time that there should be a 24-hour sun. We can go down there. There was different tour companies. That sounds, I can do that. Let's do that. He obviously had a bunch of money, so that's what he did. And it absolutely destroyed the flat Earth. It's funny, and it's just not going away.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the points that kind of made me raise an eyebrow when I heard that. 'Cause I didn't remember him saying that, and then later on I heard it, and I was like, "Whoa, look at that!"
It's just like the whole Beyond the Curve documentary thing, that when obviously Jaren did his experiment trying to simulate the what is the one I can't think of it right now. When Jaren did his experiment with the light going through, and then he had to, and then he thought you should see it, if it's flat, and then he had his mate hold the light above his head, and so he could see it, which then showed the curvature of the Earth, right? Showed what was predicted, as well as we had Bob Nodell with his string laser gyroscope. As he turned it on, he measured 15 degrees per hour, and he tried all the other things, and it kept showing the rotation of the Earth, which he didn't like. Obviously, he even admitted it. Goes, obviously, we can't accept that because that's not fitting our narrative. So we're going to try to make it, try to change it, try to do this, and it kept showing 15 degrees per hour, and he just couldn't accept that. And that never died, because it was like, that's this, when a flat earther, big time like that, does something where they just show evidence to the globe, and everything that's claimed is just gold mine, right? So the final experiment, 24-hour sun, which all the flat earthers have been claiming is CGI and fake, and nobody's ever seen it, and you can't go there. And then there's people get chased off the military and stuff like that. And then you went there, and then none of everything the flat earthers claimed didn't work. I even in Chile, to the left, and you could see the sun rise south of them, go over top, and then set south. And in fact, you can even see the glow of the sun going around because they're at the very tip. And you can kind of see the haze, and then watch it go over and then rise again. And their journey admits that even oh shit, yeah, this is fitting the globe model and not fitting the flat Earth whatsoever. And he went down there, and when he seen the 24-hour sun, he went, I guess it is what it is. I was wrong, and at least he's man enough to admit it. So, and that's why I give some respect to him. And even when he's talked to Dave McKeegan about the moon landings, and he's realized how wrong he was about that. So at least he's on a journey of realizing where he's wrong. He even admits some of his experiments, looks back and goes, you know what? I didn't account for this factor. I realize now why he's getting results, because thinking about it, I was so focused on it has to be flat, did not look at the results and go, oh, wait a minute. You know what? Now it makes sense. If we take all the confounding variables into account, you know what? It fits the globe model perfectly. All of the experiments, everything showed it. So, yeah. I'll give it another 5 minutes here, and then I'll call it here.
Somebody was mentioning last week in the chat. Yeah, somebody was also mentioning last week in the chat about Dean Odell being part of the group of none other than Robbie Davidson.
Well, right, I got you. And people sign contracts, right? And I've been learning the law here lately and figuring out what's really going on. And let me explain. It's all about contracts. And whoever has
the law has nothing to do with the shape of the Earth. But let's continue with FE Nation. Wonder if he's a solve sit. That'd be interesting.
a better contract once you sign it, that's the way it is. Okay. And
but who are you speaking about, more or less, right? Because
anybody that signed a contract going to anywhere, especially on a boat or something like that, it has to be a signed contract. So,
I mean, see, exactly. Normally, there's some sort of like either you agree to follow like the rule, like that you agree to understand the risks you're taking, or so you have like you sign a waiver. A lot of times you sign, or you may sign a contract that if you're renting the boat, that you're going to be liable for any damages, for negligence or abuse, that you agree to have the craft back by a certain time because you talk about going on a boat, or if you go on a boat, that the fact is that you agree that you're going to, follow the rules. You're going to follow in case of emergencies, that you understand the risk and also understand that you're going to follow any instructions by the crew who are trained on this and stuff like that. So, but a lot of times it's not so much like usually the contract you're signing is a waiver, legal waiver that if something were to happen, that you can't sue them, and that's tends to be what it is. All right, and that you understand that you're taking this risk and that you're willing to accept the risks that you're taking.
Yeah, it gets really deep. Yeah, but you got to have a contract. That's what it all comes to. And if you sign a contract stating that you can't state this, but you got to state that, that's the way that contract reads. I mean, you got to abide by it, or
you pay the price.
Repercussions happen, right?
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see this contract where it stipulates what you have to state. Because that sounds more like a script or something like where you're being told to read something for reasons. But I think what he's talking about, but there's no evidence and nothing showing that there was any kind of contract that's stating that they had to say these particular things. He's just making shit up.
So I'm just stating that, I mean, it's just like with it. He's flat, but he says the sun's there. The moon tells me it's different. So I know about that.
The 24-hour moon in Antarctica was shown as well. Will Duffy actually had somebody who was at Albertson Scott Station take video of the 24-hour moon, because obviously, but that would have been seen 6 months from when he went there. So he actually got footage of that 24-hour moon, which would be our summertime in the northern hemisphere. Their wintertime, they get 24-hour darkness, and so they get 24-hour moon. But because the moon orbits around us and is on I think it's a 5-degree plane. So it'll be there for several days, the moon, and then but as it goes around, it orbits around us, and it goes it'll be on a different or it is on its orbit. Then sometimes it's not seen for 24 hours in the Antarctica over that time. For a few days, it won't be seen because it's higher, it's below their horizon, being that the fact that it's on its the other part of its orbit, the other half, which is below the plane that they can see. And then as it comes around, they'll be able to see it then for 24 hours again as it orbits around, and then it'll come up. You see for 24 hours, it'll go higher, and then it comes back down, which works perfectly on the globe, and it's explained perfectly with the heliocentric model.
That and it's just like Jaron, and I don't really talk about it. He does his thing, and he even admitted the other day that
Hey, astute gentlemen, this is definitely a live stream in which we look at facts and evidence, and unfortunately, there's none seen from the flat Earth whatsoever. I've been looking for years, no flat Earth evidence. So unless you have evidence, empirical evidence of claimed flat Earth, then I'm sorry, you got nothing. Then we have 24-hour sun. It's proven. So
he's lost so many viewers.
Hey, Sean Hawkins, how's it going? Nice to see you. I'm just about to get off, though. Good timing, Sean.
When he was talking to Sam, we know this. He even stated that after Sam left, and they were talking about it. So,
astute gentleman says Santa doesn't exist, and neither does the flat Earth. Good job.
And if you listen to the comments,
and neither does your God.
Because I watched that debate, and it was all good. And I'm not putting anybody down, but it's all about signed contracts. And once you learn that contracts, it's like it becomes equity. Okay.
Sure.
And
yeah, you don't want to go breach a contract.
Then everything becomes relevant to the situation. We know water, it's flat in the ocean, period. And we know it don't stick to anything spinning. Fact. We're not moving. Fact. I mean, so many we see.
Wrong. The oceans do curve. We seen it earlier on the stream, which that flat earther showed the lighthouse, and it showed it being obstructed by the curvature of the Earth. Bob Nodell, another flat earther, showed that the Earth's rotation does exist, 15 degrees per hour, and the Earth is definitely a globe, but that's been shown countless times, and 24-hour sun does exist.
See too far, yeah. I mean,
and we don't see too far. Everything works out perfectly with the globe when you take all confounding variables into account, including the predicted curvature of the Earth and what should be obstruction, and you take the atmospheric and the atmospheric refraction into account, and the current current conditions at the time. Including if you account for it, if there's any kind of inversions or any kind of ducting that can happen, which is shown, proven, and testable and repeatable, and we know exactly how it works and how. So, yeah, we don't see too far. We see exactly as far as we should see, and that's why sometimes there can be exceptions, like I said, the one black swan, which to get that shot that the flat earthers always use, the guy had to go there for 180 days. Before he finally got that shot. So on day 180, he finally had the atmospheric conditions where you had that much refraction and temperature inversion. They use that's why everything's all bendy and warped and stuff like that, because there's that much distortion. You find you're actually able to get a rare shot that only happens rarely. But we go back the next day, then a lot more of the oil platform is obstructed. But even then, in the flat earthers one, there's still things that are being obstructed. That further oil platform, why is it that the gangway at the bottom there was on the surface of the water? Because it doesn't. There's actually leg below that, but we couldn't see that because it was still being obstructed. It didn't actually show the whole entire thing. Flat earthers claim they can, but when you look into it, you realize that there was still some stuff being obstructed there. And it also explains why there's 2 horizons there, because as you went further away, there's not much refraction. It actually brought the other horizon up a little bit. But on a different day we went back, then you had a very crisp, clear horizon. The oil platforms weren't all bendy and warped. There wasn't that much distortion, and you can also see that the horizon would be a lot crisper. Also was a lot higher up, and that's more of a regular thing seen. So which then shows a flat Earth, falsifies flat Earth, and shows evidence for the globe.
I back in the day when Thomas Dolby brought out that album in '84, Flat Earth. Then I started looking at the water. I'm looking in the water. I'm like, hell yeah, it's fucking flat. So I've known since like '84. And then,
so he's admitting that he's been stupid and indoctrinated and not very intelligent since 1984. Well done. I've shown curvature, things being obstructed bottom up due to the curvature of the Earth a couple years ago. No problem. It's called flat earthers. I live on a coast where I can see, or Ireland is off the coast, right? Why can I not see a massive, huge island, Ireland, a big, whole full country? Why I cannot see that? But I can see the stars on the horizon. So they say it's due to perspective and blah blah blah. Well, that's funny because I can see a little small point source on the horizon, which is actually further away than Ireland, unless you say that the domament is only, and the stars are only about 100 miles away. But yet I can't see a massive, huge island off that way. With my telescope, which I have 300 times magnification, so kicks the shit out of your flat Earth, your P1000, 125 times magnification. I still can't see Ireland. In fact, I can't even see the Isle of Man, which is halfway along, which is only about 30 or 40 miles away. I can't see the Isle of Man. Why can't I see the Isle of Man? A whole island out there, can't see it. They have motorcycle races and everything on there. So why can I not see that? But yeah, I can see the stars, which are further away and small points of light. So how can I see that, which is in the firmament, which they claim is, if I'm looking that way, then these are the stars going down the other side, right? If you're going down this side, it should be much, much, much further away on the other side of the flat Earth. I can see the stars, but I can't see the island, which should be a hell of a lot closer. And not a single flat earther can explain that. So, now perfectly explaining the globe, curvature of the Earth's in the way. Can't see it because it's Earth's curving down like this. Can't see it. Not a problem. I'm not high enough up. If I went higher up, then with my telescope, I probably could see it. In fact, I think you can. Go to Snowdonia, to the peak of it with a high zoom, then you can see parts. You can see just the edge of Ireland. You still, some of it still goes over. But you have to be really, really, really high up. But while I'm at the beach, I can't see it. So, yeah, craziness. Right, I'm gonna call it there. It's 11:36. I've been on for about just over almost 2 hours. But yeah, I wasn't gonna finish that. That was like a freaking 5-hour freaking live stream, or 4 hours and 35 minutes. I certainly wasn't gonna finish that. But it was just funny. But hey, I had a few flat tarts in here. Funny, that's great. Still waiting on a flat Earth evidence though. A cute gentleman seems to have ran away, came in, derped out a couple things, and then ran away. They don't do that. So I also had some other fella named John something came in, derped out a little bit, and ran away. But if you flat earthers notice something, and there's something Justin Johnson would have done, and Vika, who even admitted, is that no flat earther was blocked. They came in, they were fairly respectful. They derped out a little bit and they buggered off. So coolio, right? So this is what you do. We welcome the if people come in, the flat earthers and stuff want to come in, want to see stuff, but you come in, you're going to be asked for flat Earth evidence. Globe denial is not flat Earth evidence, people. So flerfs, flatties. You're welcome to come on. You want to get a hold of me, send me a little email. Email is in the description of this channel. Send me a little email. We'll have you come on. and you can come and present your flat Earth evidence. I'd be more than happy to have a look. That's why my name is Curious UK. Curious because I'm curious. I want to see it. I've been looking for years. I've never found flat Earth evidence. So, I said globe denial is not it. But that's it. Thanks everybody for coming in. Fantastic to see everybody. If you haven't yet already, hit the like button on the way out. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Share the channel out. Share the live out. And yeah, if you're watching a restream, comment down below. What do you think? What do you think here? Flat Earth, the cope is quite fun. And we'll keep crack-a-lacking here and going on with this. Thanks everybody, and I will see you again next time. Remember people, Earth's definitely a globe, space is real, but don't forget, stay curious, and I will see you again. Bye.
NASA lies, yeah, that's what I say. Don't have proof or facts in any way. I claim the moon's made of plasma, a place no one can go. The Apollo program's a scam, I can't back it up though. They talk about the ISS is floating in space. You ask me in a pool, I'd say is the case. Satellones in the sky held up by helium balloons. But bro, that's just a lie, cause that's what all bitches do. NASA lies is something I'll never prove. No facts, no evidence, debates I will lose. They say they've been to the moon, I say it's not the truth. I see truth in no way, I hate MC2 when he shows me proof. The firmament is real, a dome up above, but I'll never prove it, so lost that I'm dumb. I know the world is flat, trust your sense of sight. Saying gravity's just a theory is why I'm up at night. NASA is phony like a show or movie, fake like on stage. Truman Show child's play, it's just but suck at this game. Because I'm just a dick with only my stupid self to blame. But I'm so fucking sure that the earth is flat, based on how I feel with my pop of flair. Swear my blind faith is what keeps it real. NASA lies is something I'll never prove. No facts, no evidence, debates I will lose. They say they've been to the moon, I say it's not the truth. I see truth in no way, I hate MC2 when he shows me proof. Asking the wrong questions, my beliefs are all faith-based. I can't see the fucking answers right in front of my face. Stanley Kubrick is mentioned every single goddamn time. Somehow he filmed it without nobody dropping a dime. The firmament is a dome, it keeps water in the sky. But when you ask me to prove it, I can't know why. NASA in Hebrew, it means to lie or deceive. My flerf priest told me and blindly I believe. NASA lies is something I'll never prove. No facts, no evidence, debates I will lose. They say they've been to the moon, I say it's not the truth. I see truth in no way, I hate MC2 when he shows me proof. Spreading misinformation and lies willfully, so proud. Like Nathan Thompson yelling at strangers so loud. NASA's lies, people, space is fake and Earth isn't round. Oh shit, the fathers and husbands stop me into the ground.
Asking the wrong questions, my beliefs are all faith-based. I can't see the fucking answers right in front of my face. Stanley Kubrick is mentioned every single goddamn time. Somehow he filmed it without nobody dropping a dime.
The firmament is a dome, it keeps water in the sky. But when you ask me to prove it, I can't know why. NASA in Hebrew, it means to lie or deceive. My flerf priest told me and blindly I believe. NASA lies is something I'll never prove. No facts, no evidence.